very confident, 100% confident that that is going to pass today. And to put it simply, we're just not going to let the government shut down today. Today, Democrats, again, will take action to protect our families, our livelihood, and the economy by passing the continuing resolution.
Okay,
so we're going to keep the government open and avoid a devastating shutdown tomorrow.
So what's in it, and how satisfied are you with what's been put down?
Well, what this continuing resolution is going to do is keep the government open for a few more months while we continue to work on a budget for the next fiscal year. We're going to bring that legislation to the president's desk today. It will keep the government funded at its 2021 levels. It will also provide about $28.6 billion for desperately needed disaster relief. And it's also going to provide funding for critical education, health, housing, and public safety programs through December 3rd. Give us a little bit more time to find consensus on what we need to do to keep the government open.
Yeah, so that said, still a lot of work to be done. And there were plans to vote on the $1 trillion infrastructure bill today, although we've heard that that might not happen. How likely is it to hit the floor?
I don't think that bill is going to hit the floor today because it is not coupled with the larger social infrastructure and the reconciliation bill that we have for months now been saying we support both bills. We're ready to pass both bills, but they both need to go at the same time. However, things could change. You know, we're willing to stay here all weekend if needed in order to make that happen. But frankly, it is such a important bill for our country. It is the president's agenda. It is why Democrats were elected to the House, the Senate, and the White House this year. And so that is the agenda that we have to get through, and that's that Build Back Better agenda. They both go through together, infrastructure and many of the social infrastructure programs that we need.
Okay, this is, I believe you're talking about the $3.5 trillion social policy plan.
That's correct.
As far as the bigger one. Okay, so we'll see how things progress. I also wanted to get your thoughts. There's been so much reports of unruly passengers on airplanes, and you've come out, you've been very vocal about getting support for people in the airline industry. And I know you've said you'd like to see limits on alcohol that are served on planes. What else can be done? Because these people, they're up there, they don't have anywhere to go. How else can they be protected?
Well, I think what the federal government, through the Congress, the Department of Justice, the FAA needs to look at doing is a couple things. We can look at increasing the amount of civil fines and criminal fines for people that act unruly on an aircraft, violently assault a airline crew member, which is against federal law. Mm-hmm. And we can also look at a national airline registry if people are convicted of those crimes and are prohibited and banned from an airline, where we can possibly establish a registry where airlines can exchange that information. And then also at airports, maybe not necessarily here in Hawaii, but at airports throughout the country where establishments and restaurants and bars are encouraging people to take drinks on the go with them. We can prohibit that, or at least work with the airports that industry that manages those facilities to prohibit that and prohibit passengers from bringing alcohol onto an aircraft, which is illegal to do, by the way, anyway.
Yeah, and you obviously have interesting perspective as a pilot yourself. And another issue that I would imagine is very close to you, as a former UH athlete, there's been a big push recently to get fans into the stands to help cheer on the UH football team, and possibly even for high school, maybe even in a limited capacity, maybe just family there. It's outside. People think that it can be done safely, maybe not on the grand scale that we've seen across the country, but Congressman, is there something that can be done safely to get them there?
Well, first and foremost, Steve, my top priority in this COVID response has always been about protecting our people. However, I do support the proposal set forth by the University of Hawaii to allow for fully vaccinated, socially distanced, and masked up immediate family members in an outdoor setting to attend football games, and think that is also a reasonable request for high school sports. I think this is a good incremental step in the right direction. COVID cases and COVID case counts have come down over the last few weeks. The people of Hawaii have been doing a fantastic job. Hawaii has one of the highest COVID vaccination rates in the country, and I commend the people of Hawaii for that. It's time to let people watch high school and college sports again. I have the full faith and confidence in the UH Athletic Director, Dave Matlin, Mayor Blangiardi, and I would urge Governor Ige to strongly consider their request. It's time to let people support our University of Hawaii athletes and our high school athletes, especially immediate family members, and I fully support that.
Again, talking to Congressman Kahele about a number of different topics. Thanks for the time this morning, Congressman.
Aloha. Take care.
Aloha. All right, 7:12. We'll be right back after this.